Emissary Mentor got restricted in Vintage. Now showing up as 4 ofs in Legacy decks.
Yeah.
So that are doing well.
All right, here we go. Tropical
Deathrite Shaman.
Deathrite Shaman.
Yep. Also, back to basics, pretty good too.
Sure. Ponder is what Hani decides.
So we see Hani already has the Stoneforge, has a Jace the Mind Sculptor in hand as well. And there's a hymn for Hans.
Yeah, it's one of those where with Ponder, he's going to draw the second Ponder card with his draw step. You almost want that to be the best one, so you're not leaving it vulnerable to hit Torok.
Yep.
But then the third one, you're probably going to shuffle away. Oh. Deathrite into Delver Deathrite. The attack for one part of that turn is not the most exciting, but 3/1 drops in the first 2 turns feels decent.
Yeah, no fetch lands, so the Deathrites aren't going to quite do much yet.
So Hani's got a Stoneforge that he can play here. I don't know if he can do better.
That's my favorite art swamp, by the way. Love that art.
Goes for Cabal Therapy.
Let's get the soul read going.
What do you name?
Blind here.
Yeah.
I would probably name maybe a Ponder or a Brainstorm.
I think I'm on Force of Will or Days. Oh, he names him to Turok.
Okay. I would have got a Ponder if I named Ponder.
I like him. That seems like a good
Yeah.
name.
I personally like naming one-ofs in Vintage, so that way when I hit them, it feels extra good.
Hani does have a Stoneforge Mystic, right?
Yes.
What do you... It's interesting. Blind Therapy plus Plow, is that better than Stoneforge? I mean, some of it depends on how good the top card of his library is from the Ponder. But I figured the last card from the Ponder can't be great.
Yeah.
And starting to get on Stoneforge seems decent? Relevant? I don't know. I probably would have just gotten Force of Will, so this line probably did work out better.
Oh, yeah. Hans definitely probably forces the Stoneforge there. And the Deathrites continue to enter the red zone. And now we'll see the Stoneforge come down.
Force of Will.
Hans thinking about it.
No, he just says okay. Wonder how much of that is around the fact that Hans knows that Hani saw the Force of Will blue card and chose to play the Stoneforge into it. He must want me to Force of Will.
Exactly.
So I won't. Fatal push for the Stoneforge.
I was going to say Hans could have...
Ooh. Sylvan Library is pretty good. Is that a one of in the main?
One of in the main. Very good in this matchup. Being able to filter card quality against Deathblade is going to be huge. And the Deathrights continue to serve in the red zone. Brainstorm. Hani picks up a fetch land to go with the Brainstorm. Does he have a mentor that he's thinking about playing? Tap 3 there.
Yep. Plays the 4th land to play around days, but
Hans
it's
instantly Force of Wills there. Hani's going to Brainstorm in response. Oh, it hits a Force of his own. It looks like he has the blue card with it as well. Hans left with no cards in hand, but does have a Sylvan Library.
Mentor's going to pressure his life total enough that it can't just pay life for cards willy-nilly.
So Mentor still on the stack here.
Right. And there's the Force back. Hani would have rather gotten it down without having to Brainstorm first. He wanted the token from the Brainstorm. That's what he was hoping to get to do. Also, there's a Cabal Therapy in his graveyard, so if he had a token, he could fire off the Therapy. Good news, though, his opponent's empty-handed, and he has a Mentor.
Hans looking for some way to deal with the Mentor here. He takes all the cards off the library, looks like.
And adds Tarmogoyf to his board.
We'll just half my life total real quick, no biggie. Does have Deathrite Shaman that can eat a, I think a Stoneforge is in the bin.
And Hans did kill that Stoneforge Mystic, but the Batterskull is now live as a hard cast. Or here's new Stoneforge.
Stoneforge, the last artifact in Hani's deck that it can get is the Umezawa's Jitte.
Wow. Sylvan found him Force blue card Tarmogoyf. That's not a bad 3 cards.
That's not bad at all.
Draw step was Force of Will, Tarmogoyf.
Did he miss a trigger? Isn't it on cast? Or it's non-creature. It's, yeah, non-creature Mentor.
The Mentor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't see the Stoneforge Mystic.
I'm so used to Vintage where it's just like, it feels like everything is triggering it.
And this time around, the Sylvan found him a land and an Abrupt Decay. Wow.
Library seems strong.
Mentor down. No monks generated.
And we got some Deathrite Shaman serving up beats.
So that's 5 damage. Deathrite can potentially deal 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
Hans is down to 6, so the Sylvaning has to stop pretty soon. And I believe Hani's last card is a Batter Skull from before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you shuffled it away with a Brainstorm that I missed. So that's reasonable. And Hans, he's out of cards now. He spent the Force of Will on last turn, Stoneforge.
Drops the 9. He'll be going to 7 here with the Deathrite Shaman activation.
But he'll have a life-linking 4/4.
If Hans finds a way to deal with it, though,
yeah,
we could potentially be seeing the end of this one.
And Hans gets a fresh 3 off the Sylvan since he just cracked a fetch land.
And here comes the Batter Skull.
If he deals with Sylvan, we're just done, right?
Yeah, if the Germ token's dead, it's over.
Deathrite drops Hani to 7.
Mm-hmm.
Tarmogoyf and a Deathrite attack is 5, and then Deathrite once again. Can Godic find a way to get that Germ token out of his way? Keeps 1 card.
Does not look like
Nope, doesn't look like it. Does get to force Hani to chump, which he has to. I guess, yeah.
He has to, or he just dies from
the
Death
there's 2
Rites.
black mana for the 2 Deathrites.
Him your last card away. Hani needs something here, or we'll be going to game 2.
No, he gets 1 more turn. Because he gained the 4 life.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't actually die to the next attack. He gained the 4 life and Hans spent his black mana on something other than Deathrite Shaman. Here's another Stoneforge Mystic.
Hans can still drain him for 2 at the end of this turn with the Deathrite.
Right.
Using
he
the other
could use
Deathrite.
1 activation.
It looks like Stoneforge is going to be back on chump duty here again.
What's Hani thinking about?
Is he just doing kind of the Deathrite Shaman math?
I mean, it seems like you just played Jitte here. I mean, I guess in theory he could spend 3 mana picking up Batterskull so that next turn Stoneforge can put it down. But next turn you can pick up and put it down with 5. So it's only Wasteland that even denies you that path. I think you just played Jitte here.
Oh, no, because you bounce the Batterskull, and then next turn you can play it again.
Right, but you can do that next turn also.
No, not if the Stoneforge Mystic needs the block here, which is what he's going through right now. The Stoneforge Mystic's going to have to block.
Sure. I don't think it has to, but it might want to. Yeah, this drops Hani to 9. In theory, Tarmogoyf and 2 Deathrites would leave him at 1.
I guess he's going through that discussion of how's he going to block? Does he want to bounce the Batterskull?
Decides he's going to use that 3 mana on picking up the Batterskull one way or the other.
Drops down to 2.
Wow.
Daze, Misty, and Daze.
Hani decides he does want to chump block. Cashes in his Mystic for 4 life.
This Batterskull is going to get dazed really, really hard. It is going to be a dazed and confused Batterskull. And here we go, and that daze should wrap this game up.
Yeah. Nothing he can do but cast the Batterskull. The game 1 handshake. It was a very well fought game. And Hans Jacob Godek got it.
On to game 2.
Yep.
So from Hani's side, I gotta believe we're gonna see back to basics, as Delver decks typically do not play basic lands.
So is that, do you chump block with Mystic there?
I do, yeah.
I'm not sure I do.
Kind of live dangerously going down the 1 there.
Right.
No, that's a reasonable line.
You don't lose the days with that line because you don't pick up Batterskull, you just equip Batterskull.
And then get to throw it back down with the Stoneforge.
No, I'm not picking it up.
Oh, you're not picking. You're throwing out the Jitte?
It has this ability called Equip. You can just pay
Yeah.
5 and then give your Stoneforge +4/+4 lifelink,
And then you
vigilance,
have
etc.
just the guy on board there.
Now I
as
have a
brick wall.
5/6 that's big enough to block Tarmogoyf
Yeah.
and beat it up.
Yeah. No, that's perfectly reasonable. I think I like that line.
And then if you get another turn, you get Jitte
Yeah.
on it as well.
And then Hans dazes do nothing there, essentially.
Yeah, that chump block didn't look right to me. And the more I think about the fact that you could just equip Batterskull and not risk permission.
That's the thing you always, yeah, that's a good point. You always kind of forget that Batterskull does equip, too.
Right. It isn't like this sorcery that summons 4/4 token creatures.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually a piece of equipment.
You can just move it right onto the Stoneforge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good point. Now that I think about it, that line sounds a lot better. And especially when you get to throw the Jitte on it next turn.
Assuming you survive. Look,
Yeah.
going to 1 is risky.
Yes.
Like, you might just die going to 1. That's definitely a risk that you're running, but you only have to fade 1 turn.
And then you get the Jitte online.
And the dude's not even playing Lightning Bolts, right? It's not even Grixis Delver.
No.
It's Sultai Delver.
Yeah.
There's no reach in the deck other than the Deathrite Shamans, and you can do the Deathrite math. It puts you at 1.
Yep. No, that's, yeah, that line sounds
Yeah,
really good
I think
now.
that chump block is just wrong. And yeah, I mean, I had said I wanted to play the Jitte. I think that, yeah, I think that just sets the next. Play the Jitte, take the damage, cross your fingers. If he doesn't have removal for your for your Stoneforge, you're actually in decent shape.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, that makes
I mean, the thing is, not only do you get to equip and create the blocker, you also get to attack.
Yeah.
Right, you get to attack game 5.
And then you get the counters on the Jitte.
That takes another turn.
Yeah.
You get to attack, take gain 5, block potentially, or threaten to block, which means the Tarmogoyf is unlikely to attack. Then your next turn, you have 2 mana for equip.
Yeah.
On the Jitte.
Yeah, and I'd put it out of range, yeah, because Stoneforge then is just beating up on the Goyf, so.
Yeah.
No, that's a lot better of a line.
You know who was really happy about that line, though?
Our Eldrazi player.
Seth, indeed.
Yes. He's
Seth-
perfectly fine seeing
Seth
Delver
sitting
in the
final
finals.
saying, feed me another Delver deck, boys. Feed me.
Like
Yeah,
Hani
there's
was
2 abrupt decays to kill you in that spot. If you take the damage, you die to abrupt decay on Stoneforge. You die to fatal push on Stoneforge. That's 5 cards.
yeah,
The end.
yeah. That's all I had to fade
And I
there.
think he's already gone through one of the fatal pushes.
Yeah, he
And
already.
I mean, he's empty-handed, but he does have a Sylvan.
Looked like Hani was boarding out the Cabal therapies there. Probably gonna see back the basics. I'm glad Chris Pikula did show up to play today. We have meddling mages in the sideboard.
3 copies.
Hopefully he has the proper art. Sword of Fire Ice. Engineer Explosives definitely coming in. Toxic Deluge most likely coming in.
That's funny. All the same removal that beats you with my no chump luck line also beats the Batterskull token.
Yeah. So it's just
I'm not even sure you open up losses to new cards that you weren't already going to lose to.
if anything, it's going to 1. It's probably the correct line.
Yeah.
And then just equipping, serve. You still have to fade the other turn. If you do, you get Jitte, and then you just start running off to the races. I mean, we know at the end of the day that line would have worked based off of the dazes that we saw at the library, but it could have easily just not worked out too. So hindsight, 100%.
I don't think this is a hindsight spot. I think that
The other line.
you lose to all the same line. You
Yeah.
lose to all the same cards, but playing it the way he did, you lose to extra cards that the other line would have beaten.
Yeah.
It's not a hindsight line. Oh, with this combination of cards, it would have worked out better the other way. I think it's just strictly better to do it the other way. But these things happen.
Yep. And then over here. Do you think Hans brings in Massacre? Massacre,
Yes.
traditionally in there for Maverick and Death
Right.
and Taxes. Sees the Mentor. I got to believe Massacre's
Yeah,
coming
sure.
in.
Absolutely. You've got the deck list. It's 4
Yeah.
Monastery Mentors. Like, okay, maybe he has an instant to respond with to save the Mentor itself,
Yeah.
but maybe not. And I mean, you often kill a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you're willing to card for card with Stoneforge Mystic anyway, Massacre sounds great.
Oh, yeah.
You may get some free value out of it. I mean, sure, not the Death and Taxes matchup where Massacre is a superstar,
Yeah.
but plenty good enough.
Probably see another Abrupt Decay come in from Hans as well. Players still shuffling up here.
You picked Deathblade in this matchup, though, didn't you?
I did pick Deathblade. We still, Hans still has to close here. He
Oh,
still
you're not
needs
gonna
win
change
another.
even
I'm
down
not
a
going to
game?
change.
Wow.
Not going to change.
Look, if they offer you the ability to switch, you're always supposed to switch.
No, that's the
Monty Hall
fallacy.
paradox.
Yeah.
It's not a fallacy. It's a
Well, it's a paradox. I always
Paradox.
think it's I always think it's a fallacy to switch in my mind. That's how I look at it.
or it's exactly correct to switch. One of those.
Or it's always wrong to switch.
It's not. It's always right to switch. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, it's always wrong to switch. Always wrong to switch.
I will admit that always wrong is a relevant description of this conversation.
Yes. Yes. That is correct. Having this conversation is always wrong.
That's
Yeah.
not what I was thinking, but I'll allow it.
But yes, I am going to stick with Deathblade.
All right.
Even down a game.
I'm
Take
rooting for the
this.
Deathblade deck. I enjoy the deck,
Mm.
and I think we get a more competitive final. But
I mean, I'm rooting for the Delver deck. I'm a Delver guy.
Make
But
up your mind.
no, but I think the Deathblade deck still
I guess you
wins.
never have to switch if you're pulling for both sides.
Exactly
You've got all
right.
your bases covered.
That's the next level play right there,
Got it.
obviously.
I see.
Hani looks like board has 61 there and is deciding what his last card wants to be. Thus the extra shuffling time there. White sleeves. I'm more of a fan of the pink sleeves myself, pink and black.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like white sleeves. I find they always get dirty really quickly.
I am a fan of whatever sleeves have randomly shown up in my house and are available. I don't really put much thought into it.
You have sleeves that randomly show up?
I do, actually. If it comes from having a wife that works for Wizards.
Okay.
Like
well,
random Ultra Pro swag will just float through the office and
mean,
come home. It means I wind up.
Yeah.
It does mean I often wind up with sleeves with like art on them, which I know are not great because they they're easier to wind up getting marked when you've got complicated patterns on the sleeves. But it's not like I'm playing
Free
high
sleeves
stakes
or
Magic.
free
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Free
I'm
sleeves
like,
or free sleeves.
sure, let's let's go with the Johnny. Let's go with whatever. Free
Humble,
sleeves
humble
or free
brag
sleeves.
right there. It's like, oops, first world problems.
First world problems, exactly.
And it looks like we are finally done shuffling here.
No mulligans? You can see the future?
Oh, man. We'll see how long the mulligan shuffles take, if there are any.
I see conversation in the chat about the Legacy tournament I won. I was on check pile. I didn't know it was called check pile at the time because I didn't start from a check pile list. I was like, I want to play Leovold. What do I put in this deck? And I wound up like, 3-4
Yeah.
cards off from what everyone was calling check pile. That deck wearing Jace sleeves, for the record.
Oh.
That was what came home for free that month.
It's like one of those monthly delivery boxes, right? That just show up at your house, a subscription box.
I think it's more like every 3 months. It's like once a set.
Okay.
But yeah.
Mm. All right, it looks like we had misaligned cards, and the judges fixing that. Both players are keeping their opening sevens, though. Let's see. Deathrite. Force of Will is the third card.
So did he pick up a warning there? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he got a slow play warning. It took them 11 minutes to finish.
Wow. It was 11 minutes break between games. So
Wow.
a slow play warning officially given to Hani Alnheimer.
His second one, they said. So the third
So he's
one.
done.
That was the first one?
You only get one.
Yeah, you
Okay,
only
like
get one
one.
warning. If he
Okay.
continues to take 11 minutes to sideboard and shuffle,
Yeah.
he's actually going to pick up a game loss.
Oh, wow.
That is the next step if this keeps up. So hopefully we're not going to have a semifinal decided
Yeah.
on that. Hopefully he gets the message and plays a little quicker. I wasn't watching the clock, but we did go through a fairly circuitous chat
Yes.
path,
Yes.
wandering all the way over to the Monty Hall problem and
Yeah.
sleeves.
Got a little rammy there at the end.
Dueling death rights off dueling undergrounds.
Wall therapy. So it looks like he boarded out some of them, kept a couple in.
Blind name. What is it?
Blind name here, Fatal Push.
Fatal push, only a 3.
Oh, him, the Torok hits 2 of them.
Wow.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Wow. That's a big swing. So he's a pretty good hand still. Abrupt Decay, Tarmogoyf, Force of Will, and what's the blue card? Spell Pierce?
Spell Pierce.
Spell Pierce.
I am way better at guessing in Vintage than I am Legacy.
Well, he named him to
Yeah.
Turok last time as well.
Yeah.
I think him to Turok is the 2-mana play that Hani doesn't want to have happen.
Yep.
So, jeez. And he's got another one? Calls Abrupt Decay. Does not fear the Tarmogoyf. Now, no land drop. He definitely wants to keep his death right. And here's Tarmogoyf. Off the land, Han's top deck, so Hani still has perfect information about his hand.
I'm thinking.
Jeez.
Another Cabal Therapy.
There's no reason to force a will this. I guess you can Spell Pierce it. Should you Spell Pierce it? If you Spell Pierce, he probably pays, yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to name Spell Pierce, obviously.
Yep.
He's going to strand you with a Force of Will and no blue card to go with it.
Yeah, no reason to pierce it.
So Hani goes for Death Right. Hans responds by activating his own Death Right,
Yeah.
presumably targeting the same card.
Did they remove the land yet?
Not that I saw. This might still be in response. I don't know why it would be, but might be.
Trying to, yeah.
Plows the Tarmogoyf. And now that, that was all in response. I mean, given that Hani knew Hans is holding Force of Will, doesn't matter, but I mean, he could in theory have been holding Spell Pierce or something.
Yeah. Han just picking up a land there.
Still has only a Force of Will that he can't cast. What's Hani got?
Magic players, we're looking for one more for Commander Pod. One more player for Commander. Seasoned customer
And
service.
Hani is going to steal the Cabal Therapy before Hans can.
Hans draws one of his own.
As a thought sees, doesn't need to do the guesswork this time. The Force of Will, and what was the blue card there? Flusterstorm? Or no, Engineer Explosive Flusterstorm. I saw the orange-red glance real quick. And with the Deathrite already tapped for Hani, Han's gonna eat another Cabal Therapy. Draws a Flooded Strand.
Yeah, both players basically on empty.
Yeah, just
High life
running off the
totals,
top.
death rights, and not much.
Delver.
Card could do some work here.
And Showdown again for the Deathrite Shamans.
He just doesn't use it.
Well, they're waiting to see who's going to blink first on him. You pick up a Jace, it looks like.
He did. There's an enemy Force of Will, but no blue card to go with
Yeah.
it. So, Windmill Slam Mind Sculptor, right?
It would appear so. That looks warped. The curve of the deck. And we have Jace. Hans looks at the Force. Yep, still no blue card that appeared there. And he's
Bounces
just going to
Delver.
bounce the Delver. If the Delver flips, it's a pretty expensive Brainstorm.
Right.
Did we get to see what Hans drew there?
Force of Will and something as he replays his Delver.
Honey with Force of Will. And Flusterstorm.
Do you start brainstorming for a Delver answer? Well, you can't keep bouncing it every
Yeah.
turn. At some point, I think you've got to just...
He's going to bounce it again, though. Funny enough, it actually does turn on Hans's Force of Will.
I don't know if I like this line.
Hani just maybe hoping he runs into a Flooded. Oh, wow. He turned down the Deathrite. The Deathrite's going to be able to pick off that Jace here.
What?
Wow.
What just happened?
Oh, my.
Connie Alnheimer responded to Hans's Deathrite
Oh, my.
by using his own, and suddenly one power Deathrite could attack his Jace. That Jace was 4 mana, bounced Delver twice.
Oh, jeez. Council's Judgment, the draw for Hani.
Yikes.
He tried to get into his Deathrite Shaman Wars, and it didn't work out well for him.
Hani attempts to name Deathrite Shaman with Council's Judgment, but it hasn't actually resolved yet. What he's really doing is putting Council's Judgment on the stack. Little bit of nerves showing through here in the
Yeah.
semifinals from Hani, I think. All right. Hans thinks about it and then allows Council's Judgment to kill his Deathrite. Delver says nope.
Hans thinking if he wants that. Hans wants the card, doesn't crack the fetch. Man, Deathrite Shaman does it all. Even kills Jace's.
Pretty good.
And that's exactly what Hans kept on top there, a Tombstalker.
Saw the Tombstalker. Was not good news for Delver, but it was good news for Hans. Doesn't Hani have like Force of Will Flusterstorm in his hand? I can't imagine he
Thought
wants.
he did.
If that's his hand, this is an easy Force of Will.
Yep,
Yeah,
there it is.
okay.
Yep. That's
Force
it. Yeah,
of Will
I was going to say that's
Flusterstorm.
what
Now
I
the
thought was
question
in his
is,
hand.
does Hans have a blue card to go with the Force of Will he's had from his opening draw? He does.
Force Pitch Force.
Tombstalker is here. That's the Exile Zone. There's only a Force of Will. There you go.
Brainstorm off the top. Pithing Needle, a Mentor, and a Deathrite Shaman. So he's going to be stuck with those cards for a bit. If that Delver flips, this is going to be over fairly quickly.
Even if it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he'll get a fresh card before he dies to Tombstalker, but he'll be at 2.
I guess if you're Hani here, do you play the Deathrite so you have a way to get green mana to try to gain life to get you an extra draw step potentially later?
Or what? Play the Mentor? Planning to get 1 monk off a Pithing Needle?
Yeah. I'm thinking you just maybe
I
get
think
the
it's Deathrite.
Deathrite here. So that way you get the green mana to try to gain life, get you an extra draw step later in the game.
Okay, keep one of them. It's Brainstorm, not a Ponder.
He's going to go with the Mentor, though.
Flip.
And this is
It's
over.
Casual 8
Yeah.
damage worth of flyers. No big deal. And Hans is like, I don't actually want to draw the Force of Will. He did its job. We flipped Delver.
This is over, right?
I
He
would
only
like to
has
shuffle.
Deathrite and Pithing Needle.
Yeah.
Hani's dead.
I believe we are
Yep.
ATOG deterministic.
Yes. We're going to be looking at a Eldrazi versus Delver final.
Looks that way.
I got to believe Seth is loving what he's seeing right now.
Seriously, no one in chat's got an ATOG deterministic emote for me. Crunch.
And we know that it's either a Needle or a Deathrite Shaman on top of his deck. And
There
that's
we
not going
go.
to do much.
Finally got one. Thank you, regular John. Pithing Needle. Make a monk. You can name Tombstalker with Pithing Needle, right?
You can. I've had someone name Golgari Grave Troll with Pithing Needle,
Nice.
and I wasn't able to regenerate it. However, I could still dredge it.
All right, Hans Jacob Godek. 1 attack away from a spot in the championship match here at Legacy Champs. Can we give him a slow play? Seriously, dude. We've rolled. There's no dice
Yeah.
involved.
Lethal has been on board for about 5 minutes.
You are dead. Never quit. Never surrender.
We need some
Hit you
extra
for
airtime.
3. All right. There's the handshake.
There we go.
Hans Jacob Godig. 2-0. Takes out a pretty sweet Deathblade list. I
Yeah.
like the Monastery Mentors there a lot. I like the Max Cabal Theory Gataxian
Yeah.